إنه شاب قطط عينه طافية كأني أشبهه بعبد العزى. Now he's describing how does this guy look like. You know, he's having a curly hair. He looks like a person by the name Uzza ibn Qatan, and one of his eyes mamsuha. That's why we call him al-Masih. That's why we call him what? Al-Masih al-Dajjal, which means one eye blind. It doesn't mean that his eye exists and it is blind. No, it means that it is wiped out. Like this guy was created only with one eye. And there is some sort of, projection on his face instead of this eye. That's why I call Mamsuh, Masih. Some people call him Al-Masih with the letter Kha, but the correct name is Al-Masih because his eye, one of his eyes is Mamsuha. So now, having known his description, we will be studying some other hadith saying what will be written on his forehead. He said, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, whoever among you will recite Fawatiha Surat al-Kahfi, the first ayat of Surah al-Kahf, the first 10 verses of Surah al-Kahf, then will able to overcome him, will be able to protect himself against his fitna and defend himself against them. And then he said where he will emerge from between the borders between Syria and Iraq. And once he emerges from the first moment, he's going to spread mischief and corruption on earth, right and left. It's all about corruption. He is the most corrupt creature ever. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said the way out in order to avoid his fitna, adhere to the truth. What is the truth? Al-Haq, the Quran, the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he said, remain steadfast, adhere to the truth, as long as he is among you. How long will he last? And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said he's gonna last on earth for 40 days, but not similar to our days. Those 40 days will be as follows. One day will be equivalent to one complete year of our time. Yani we will have only one sunrise and one sunset throughout the 365 days. Wow. One day out of the 40 days will be like a year of our time. يوم كسنة ويوم كشهر. And the following day of the 40 days will be equivalent to 30 days of our time. And the following day will be equivalent to 1 week. So 1 year, 1 month, 1 week, and then the rest of the days, which will be 37 days, like our regular days. How I love the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when all of a sudden what popped up to their mind is the most important concern. You said initially, uthbutu ibadallah, remain steadfast. And we all know that the greatest means of steadfastness is as-salah, namaz, the prayers. So you said that in one day it will be stretched out to be equivalent to 365 days of our time. So in this one day, how are we going to pray only 5 prayers? He said, no. You're not going to pray 5 days. اقدروا لهذا اليوم قدرا. You know, when people live close to the North Pole or the North Pole, we have the daytime 6 months or nighttime 6 months. We say, you need to look into the timetable of the prayers of the nearest country which has a day and night, sunrise and sunset, and follow that. So after 5 hours, we're going to pray Fajr, even though it's sunrise already. Then after 6 hours, we're going to pray Dhuhr. 3 hours, we're going to pray Asr. 4 hours or 3 hours, we're going to pray Maghrib. 1 hour, we pray Isha. All of that, and it's still sunrise. That is the meaning of you going to estimate the time accordingly. That will be applicable in the case of 1 year, which is equivalent or as long as 1 year, and 1 day, which is as long as 1 month, and 1 day, which is equivalent to 1 week, until we return back to our regular schedule. So this question from the Sahaba and the answer of the Prophet ﷺ has helped us nowadays in order to know how are we going to fast in the North Pole or in the places where they have 6 months night and 6 months day. Do we follow Mecca? No, you don't follow Mecca. You follow the nearest country which have a clear day and a clear night.